Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So, today's video is going to be the awesome mega collab of many different people that I've been hyping up for a little while now. So to explain what exactly this video is, I asked each participating YouTuber about a game that they want to come to the Nintendo Switch. Now this could be a first party or third party franchise, it could be a remake, it could be a spiritual successor, it could be a proper sequel. It could be whatever they want it to be, just something that isn't on the Switch that they want to be on the Switch. So, without any further ado guys, let's get into it.
ZakPak, he's always there for you. ZakPak, only on YouTube. ZakPak, what will he do next? ZakPak, let's find out, 'cause it's on with the show.
So we're going to start off with a person who is very, well known on this channel, CC Media. Chris, I'm going to pass it off to you and you can explain what your game choice is.
Hey, how's it going everyone? CC Media here, and a game that I would love to see brought to the Nintendo Switch is a new Mario Kart Double Dash. Now, I'm not sure if anyone else is saying this game, but here are the main 3 reasons I would love to see it brought back. Number 1, the potential for creativity. When I think back to the original Mario Kart Double Dash, I'm reminded of a time when Nintendo was at, in my opinion, one of their highest peaks in terms of creativity. With every new game they were putting out on the GameCube, there was constantly a new spin or twist on their franchises. What I really want Nintendo to do is lean back into that mindset, and for the next Mario Kart game, bring back that wacky, off-the-walls, fast-paced action from the original Mario Kart Double Dash that I think that game captured so well. Number 2 is local multiplayer opportunities. Now, I will admit, this is a pretty selfish one, but I love local multiplayer, couch co-op experiences from Nintendo. They do it the best, in my opinion. Obviously, you got games like Wii Sports and Nintendo Land, which are just so much fun to play with other people in the same room. And we've seen this a bit from Nintendo recently, with games like Luigi's Mansion 3 getting their own local multiplayer modes. But I am always in the mood for a new game to play on the couch with friends. And Mario Kart specifically has always been at the top of that list for me. It is so much fun to just play in the same room as other people. And especially with a game like Double Dash, I imagine it would be so much fun to play local multiplayer today. And finally, number 1, bringing something new to the franchise. Now, I think we can all pretty much admit that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is, for the most part, kind of the definitive example of what a Mario Kart game should be. And plus, the game is selling like crazy still. It is one of, if not the highest selling game for the Nintendo Switch. So, I don't think Nintendo's really going to try to just make a Mario Kart 9. What I do think the franchise could benefit from is a new twist, a new spin on the gameplay, and I think a Double Dash sequel or remake, whatever you want it to be, honestly I would take either, would be perfect to fill in that gap, to give us a new Mario Kart experience, because Mario Kart 8 has been out forever. I mean, technically it is, a Wii U game, but the Switch version is better for multiple reasons, but still. It'll give us fans of Mario Kart a new experience, as well as allow new people to enjoy what's so great about the original Double Dash, the people who maybe aren't able to play it today or didn't play it growing up. And for all those reasons, Mario Kart Double Dash should definitely make a return on the Nintendo Switch.
So that was really interesting that he chose Mario Kart Double Dash, because the more and more you think about it, it's like Mario Kart Double Dash really was different from the rest of the series. So yeah, I could definitely want to see a new Mario Kart Double Dash style Mario Kart game. I'm down for that. Next up, I'm gonna hand it over to Dr. Virtual, who I've actually known him, he's probably the person I've known maybe the longest on this list. I've known him since 2012, 2013, so anyways, I'll hand it off to you and tell me what game you want.
Hello fellow minions, and hello Zach. I welcome myself kindly to your channel. That's right, the doctor with many prescriptions to offer is coming over to the channel. So, thank you very kindly for having me part of your channel. I greatly appreciate that. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. So, a video game series or a video game that I'd like to see imported onto the Switch. A video game that I'm really keen and interested to see there in terms of a remake. I'd actually go for a remake on this one. Is a video game that was released on the Nintendo 64 and is known as Blast Corps. This game was actually developed by Rareware back in the day when they were absolute giants of being the biggest or one of the most well-loved video game developers of the 90s. This game was again hell-bent on demolition. demolition, destroying buildings, making sure that nuke lorry just gets to its destination safe. And this game offered so much in terms of its thrilling gameplay. It offered a great level of difficulty as well. It's a video game that I'm very confident to say that sometimes it can greatly depend on its developers as well, but if they go back to the actual game back in the 90s on the N64, then I'm pretty sure there's nothing where you can go wrong with this game in terms of developing it, remaking it into a modern standardized game, Blast Core for the Switch. That would actually be a really good game. I think that game holds so much potential of being an absolute legend. It takes away a lot of different things, like for your first-person shooters, your third-person shooters, hell-bent on demolition. That's a really good game, destroying buildings, and this game could offer a little bit more of a challenge if they just remake it and absolutely implement a lot of different things from the first game. That can be a remake edition, and that could be an awesome splendor. I'm getting giddy just thinking about it, to be honest. So yeah, absolutely, Blast Core. You wouldn't believe this game was actually a puzzle game as well, would you? It's absolutely fantastic. A brilliant game. I greatly recommend anyone who hasn't played it yet already, but I would love to see that game remade for the Switch. That would actually be a magnificent game to go back on and actually just have it implemented in today's graphics, and to say we made another game from the past. I would love to absolutely see that. Thank you very much for having me on your channel, Zach. I really appreciate it, and for this opportunity. And taking care of yourselves, fellow gaming minions, and may retro gaming live on.
Ooh, Blast Corps. That's an interesting title to choose. I mean, I never personally played it, but I know it's a decently cheap kind of common game on the N64, so yeah, that sounds really, really cool. I mean, especially if there are... I know a lot of people have talked about the game, so if it's that popular, yeah, I'd be down for them to bring that back. Next up is my friend Rail Mango. Now, I've known him, he's been my high school best friend, and he's going to be a little bit different. His response is going to be a little bit different. He is not a Nintendo gamer, so I kind of asked him a little bit of a different question. It's a little bit different. It's basically the same thing, but a little different. What game could they bring out for the Switch that would make him want to buy a Switch? So he's going to answer that question for you right now.
So my good friend Zach asked me, what would convince me to buy a Nintendo Switch? Now, clearly I have one, right? Where else would this come from? This is my little brother's. I don't play on it. He plays on it. He plays Pokemon. In fact, I'm someone who plays on everything other than the Switch, but main reason for that is because I don't really like the games that the Switch offers, at least the first party games, which, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not exactly someone who likes the first party games on Xbox or PlayStation either. I'm mainly PC, but that's neither here or there. But I do play on them way more than I've played on Nintendo Switch. So my answer to Zach's question would probably be Call of Duty. Now let me explain before you roast my normie, but I think if a mainline Call of Duty game came to the Switch, I'd probably buy myself a Switch and buy the game for my little brother as well, so we could play zombies together, because I'm gonna be honest, I'd give anything to play Call of Duty Zombies on the Switch, especially with Zach. I mean, I played zombies with Zach before, and we love zombies. Like, that's kind of our thing. So having access to not only zombies though, multiplayer, I play Call of Duty multiplayer all the time. I'm a multiplayer guy. Zombies, multiplayer, the campaign. My whole thing is that if I had access to, let's say, Black Ops 4 on the Nintendo Switch, I would just be playing that all night. I already have sleeping problems now. If I had access to this on the Switch, not declassified. Black Ops declassified kind of sucks, I'm gonna be honest with you. But mainline Call of Duty games on the Switch would be a big plus, and I know they can do it. They put The Witcher on the Switch, which, I mean, I never thought that would be able to happen, but they did it, so I mean, shit. Put Call of Duty on the Switch so that I could stop sleeping for good.
Call of Duty, that's an interesting multiplayer choice. Now, I personally, I've fallen off with Call of Duty, but as Rail Mango said, I'm mostly in it for the zombies with him. We play it all the time, or we do 1v1 sometimes. I actually have videos up of me 1v1ing him that maybe I'll put in the cards, or I'll do something. But yeah, Call of Duty would be fun to have on the Switch. Yeah. Next up is my good friend over at Derek's Game World. I've known him for years, like about as long as I've known Dr. Virtual. And I met him at Too Many Games, so I really wanted to get him on this, especially because he's wanting to collect a little bit for the Switch now. Because you saw the Too Many Games video where him and I splurged so much money on limited run games. So yeah, I'll hand it off to you. What do you want to see?
Hey, what's up YouTube? Derek here, and this is a collab with Zach. I want to thank him for reaching out to me to do this because it's a topic that I think is really, really interesting. and I love talking about the Switch, so let's do it. He asked me to talk about a game or franchise that I would like to see on the Switch. And there's a lot that I want. I mean, I want Grand Theft Auto. I want Mass Effect. Lots of series come to mind. But there's one in particular that I think would work so well, and that is Fallout 3, New Vegas, hell, even Fallout 4, which I think they could put on the Switch, by the way. I think it's doable. Those games need to be on the Switch. I mean, they already have Skyrim, right? So why can't you put 3 in New Vegas? I'm sure there's some licensing issues with New Vegas, but 3, I don't see the issue. Those games are debatably my favorite games of all time. I go between that and like Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City and stuff like that. But I love everything about Fallout. I know about all the lore. I know pretty much everything about every game, every secret, anything about Fallout, trivia, anything is right up my alley. I've read every page on the wiki, I swear, about just everything. It pulled me in that much, and there's not many franchises that can do that. I wish the Elder Scrolls did that, but unfortunately they don't. That's why I don't have Skyrim yet. But I want to see Fallout on the Switch. If I could play that laying in bed, you'd never see me again. It would be that incredible. They don't even have to change anything about them. Just port them straight onto the Switch, and I'd be perfectly happy. But that being said, I want to thank Zach again for letting me be a part of this video, and I'll see you guys later.
Fallout, yeah, that's really interesting. I know that they are releasing The Outer Worlds, and I really, with how Fallout has kind of fallen, I really think that The Outer Worlds could be a really good substitute. But for people who like, Fallout, I think Fallout 3 and New Vegas are the really popular ones, so yeah, bring one of those over, and people would be happy, and maybe it'd be a good choice for Bethesda, since they've kind of been going downhill quite a bit with their recent choices in business practices. So yeah, Fallout, pretty cool. So next up is Jade from GamerJube. Now, GamerJube is actually a channel I came across really recently. Like, they're like the newest acquaintances I've made on this list, and there's 3 people actually. There's Jade, Nick, and Jordan. And I've really only talked to Jade and Nick, but they're both really cool. They're from Australia, so let's see what Jade has to say.
Hi guys, I'm Jade from the YouTube channel GamerJube. Thank you so much, Zach, for having me on to pick my choice. I am obviously going to be choosing Metroid, and more specifically Metroid Prime Trilogy, to come to the Nintendo Switch. And especially with Metroid Prime 4 on its way, I think it'd be no better time to bring it out to the Switch. Alrighty, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the other picks. Bye!
Firstly, love the cosplay. It was really cool. Actually, I shouldn't be making that face. Those people are bringing us high-speed internet. That was an internet truck that just went by. We're getting high-speed internet soon, and they just drove by, so I should not be making that face. But secondly, Metroid Prime Trilogy is such an interesting choice, because, obviously that's one that a lot of people are really wondering, like, are they going to, like, reveal it and announce it? Like, is that going to come out? Like, is that an actual thing? And, yeah, I think it'd be really cool, especially for people like myself who never really got... I mean, I played Metroid Prime 1 and 2, but I only played them once, like, years ago. So I really want to, maybe dive back into them and, see what the series does for me. Next up is my buddy Dan from Rebel Gaming Club. Now, he is, like, an awesome guy. He's the person that wrote and sang my theme song, ZakPak, he's always there, that everyone always just says it's so catchy. Yeah, he's the one behind it, and I was obviously really wanting to get his opinion as well, because he's a very hardcore game collector. So, Dan, take it away.
Hey guys, this is Dan from the Rebel Gaming Club, and a franchise or a game that I would like to see come back to the Switch would be actually a series of games, or maybe it's an engine. It would be the No Mercy wrestling games. It would be the WrestleMania 2000 from the N64 era. They've proven the test of time. Those games stand up. If you have 4 players and you play those games now, the gameplay still is there. The counters are there, the moves are there, the character models are there, the fact that you could customize, change names. Think about it now, in this day and age. You could have a generic game with that engine and allow people to create their own characters and just upload them somehow. All types of things to look at though. And yeah, I mean, we're talking also WCW versus NWO Revenge. So all those games, the THQ wrestling games, that would be a really good one to have right now. But ZakPak, thanks so much for having me.
Well, that's an interesting choice. I mean, I've never played the old school wrestling games, but I mean, if they have that audience, yeah, that'd be really, really cool to see an older school style. Probably not because like wasn't it like WWF for a while? So they obviously had to change like the names and stuff like that. But yeah, but that's pretty cool. I mean, hey, maybe one day we'll get an old school wrestling game. In fact, actually, didn't they? Wasn't an old school type wrestling game like as an indie game? Like, didn't they get announced or something? I don't know, but either way, pretty cool. Next up is Papa Pete. My man, Papa Pete. He's like almost my actual dad. Yeah. But, awkward. Yeah, Papa Pete, I've known him for quite a while. Funny enough, he's really just like my friend's dad, but like, I love him. And he's a real, like, he's probably the oldest person on this list, but his love for classic games should make his choice really interesting. So let's see what he has to say.
Hey guys, Papa Pete here, and first of all, thanks a lot, Zach, for asking me to get in on this, because it really is a neat idea, picking out a franchise that I'd like to see brought back on the Nintendo Switch. Well, I thought about it for a little while, and I come up with one that's kind of off the wall. And remember, I love old video games. I'm an Atari kid and a television kid. I lived back in those days. That's when I really loved things. And the franchise that I picked that I would like to see brought back and resurrected, modernized, and basically totally revamped for the Nintendo Switch that would be really effective for Nintendo, I really truly believe, is the Sword Quest series. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Sword Quest series, it was sort of a continuation of Atari Adventure for the old Atari VCS. Not so much in the actual gameplay, but the fact that the Atari Adventure was such a popular game back in the day, and they wanted to create something along that line. But at the same time, Atari created a huge contest. They planned 4 games for this starting in 1982. There was going to be Earthworld, Fireworld, Waterworld, and Airworld. And with each game, they're going to have clues or hidden clues within the game itself. Plus, there was going to be a DC comic be distributed with each game. And the clues were also in the comic. And if you could send in the correct answer, the correct phrase, you could conceivably enter a tournament where you could win a prize that was worth $25,000, and they were very elaborate prizes as well. There was a talisman, gold with jewels and diamond encrusted. There was a chalice, a crown, and a thing they called the Philosopher's Stone, just like out of Harry Potter. And finally, after all the contests were over, they bring in all the champions for a grand championship where they could compete for the Sword of Ultimate Sorcery. And that sword was supposed to be worth $50,000. Atari had all the prizes made by the Franklin Mint, and frankly, only one of them is still known to exist nowadays. They know what happened to 1 or 2 of them, but they really don't know what happened to the others. And it's a really interesting story. You can find some more details online. Just do a Google search on it, the Sword Quest prizes, and it's really, really interesting. Anyway, I'm not saying that Nintendo should bring back the prizes, because those are huge, elaborate prizes. But, I mean, we've all watched a TV show that was canceled after a cliffhanger at the end of a season and not brought back the next year, and it sort of left you hanging in a limbo. Well, with this one, like I said, they had Earthworld and Fireworld were brought out, released nationally, and they had the contest, and then Waterworld, it was after the crash. So they had the crash, and they didn't have a big distribution of Waterworld. They just distributed it through the Atari Club in mail order. So very few people entered that one. That's why Waterworld is such an expensive game nowadays. Airworld was never produced at all. There's not even a known prototype of it. And of course, since that 4th game didn't get made, they didn't have the Grand Championship either. That's why it's such a mystery as to where these prizes ever ended up. There's a lot of rumors, but again, check it out. And I'm not saying Nintendo should bring back these prizes and have the elaborate prizes like they do, but they certainly could bring back some sort of a contest involved with these games and basically resurrect it, and I think it would be really, really popular today. of all companies out there, who is a better position to do something like that than Nintendo? I really think they get great press out of it. Anyway, guys, what franchise would I like to see brought back on the Switch? Bet you didn't think this one, did ya? But I'm picking the Sword Quest series. Once again, thank you, Zach, for having me on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed my little insight into Sword Quest and a game I like to see on the Switch. And I hope to see you on my channel in the future. And don't forget to hit like for the ZakPak video. Right on. Thanks, Zach. Take care, guys.
And this is why I chose Papa Pete to be in this video, because of his really good choice. Like, for an old school game, that's a really interesting choice. Like, not just the game in general, but just the concept of having a game that's like just filled with riddles, and the people who get to solve, the people who actually solve those riddles get to go to this competition, and that's just really cool. Like that, you know, game companies don't really do that, because what's the point? That's not really going to make them much money. So I mean, yeah, that just something like that to like incentivize some sort of competition, and you know, like that kind of got revived when the Nintendo World Championships returned. What was it, 3-4 years ago? I don't know how long ago that was, but yeah, just something like that to really revive, you know, enthusiasm for video games. Yeah, that'd be really cool. And then lastly, my buddy Corey over at Sea Stove. I've known him for quite a while too, and I think we should have an interesting choice here. So let's see what he has to say.
What's up, everyone? I appreciate Zach letting me on his channel, this ugly mug. I have a few games here I would love to come to Switch. Some of them might be a little cliche, but I still want them. But the first one is Mario Sunshine. I have it on GameCube and I keep meaning to play it, but if it came to Switch, I would jump on it so fast. You know, just give it that little HD shine, and yeah, I think it would benefit. It would sell a lot on Switch, so that should come. The Metroid Prime games, obviously, I think those might come anyways, but I still really want them to come to Switch, because once again, I haven't played them. I have them, but haven't played them. The next one I have played is one of my favorite games of all time, and if it came to Switch, I would be so excited. That's Star Fox Adventures. Extremely underrated game. If you like Zeldas, play it. It really just got crapped on because it wasn't your traditional Star Fox game, so go try it if you haven't. Hopefully it comes to Switch someday. And last but not least, they should remake Minish Cap and remake the Oracle games, Oracle Seasons and Ages. I would be so happy if they did that. It could look, I mean, they might even be able to use the same engine as the Link's Awakening. I don't know. Yeah, they might be able to use the same engine even, so that'd be cool. So they should do that. There's probably more. I'm excited to see this video and see everyone's answers, so bye!
Ooh, you got a few ones in there, and there's really, like, I mean, firstly, a lot of GameCube games. I mean, you already know, I respect the GameCube. But yeah, I agree with basically every single one of your choices there. And it would be much more worth it for Zelda, like if Oracle of Seasons and Ages, because I don't know, are they two different games? I don't know, I've never played them. But if they were both bundled together, and that could be sold for $60, because I think Link's Awakening suffered, in my opinion. Like, I mean, it did well, of course, but I think it could have done better at a $40 price point instead of a $60 one, because, you know, it's a little bit, it's short, it's not visually intense, it just doesn't feel as grand as, like, a Breath of the Wild, let's say, that was also $60. Like, if you had to, like, balance the two Zelda games, like which one are you gonna get more bang for your buck for, you know? But yeah, thank you guys, for all you guys for contributing, to this, amazing project. I absolutely love collaborating with people, but of course, I gotta say what game I want, right? Now, I already know a lot of people are gonna think that I'm going to say Luigi's Mansion or a proper Mario Party. But I actually wanted to set a rule for myself just to make my choice not predictable. I wanted to choose a game that I never really talk about on the channel. A game that I've maybe never really done a video on or never talked about. So I thought to make it a little more interesting, rather than saying the traditional, you know, oh, they should bring WarioWare, they should bring a proper Mario Party. So anyways, the game I chose is Left 4 Dead. I absolutely love this game. This is a gem of a game. Now, ideally, I would love them to do a definitive edition of Left 4 Dead, where it's Left 4 Dead's 1 and 2, all the DLC content, all of that, and having that released. Now, funny enough, I'm actually recording this like only like a couple days after Valve put out a statement there's no new Left 4 Dead projects at all. And that is very unfortunate. But I will actually also point out here that a game company called Turtle Rock Studios, who actually were the original developers for Left 4 Dead, have their own studio called Turtle Rock Studios. It's not on here. I was just seeing if that was credited on here. But no, Turtle Rock Studios, and they are making a game called Back 4 Blood. And it's basically a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. So I really want to see how that comes out because, I mean, will it suffer like Yooka-Laylee did by being a little too traditional and not changing much, you know, and just not being that amazing? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but that is my choice. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this awesome collab. Again, check out everyone. All links will be in description in order of when everyone appeared, so that you could see everyone's channel and just, you know, check out their great work. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.